Hey, horse friends, I'm Becca Salamone, and you're watching the first episode ever of American Horse Talk Live. Woohoo! We should be live on Facebook, and I'm going to go over here and check it real quick. You may see somebody on screen with me, and if you do, you might know who it is. It's Jessie Lynn. Hey, Jessie Lynn, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm checking the same thing you are to see if we're up and running.
Yeah.
Always the fun stuff.
Let's see. I need to refresh over here and see. I've got another computer on the side here.
Oh, I do too, believe me.
And I'm not seeing us there. Do you see us?
I don't see us.
Well, I don't know if we are or not, so I'm going to keep checking, and I don't want to go forward unless I know we're on there.
How strange. I wonder if it has a rollover.
And I'm not seeing us, and I normally do, so that's kind of scary. Let me look on mine.
Yeah, double check. Just double check.
And I don't see it. Let me look on the page.
Might be on the page.
And if we are, I apologize.
We are live. I see a live video right now. It's us on the page.
Okay, it's on the page. Now, that's interesting because I thought I selected group. Apparently, I didn't. All right. So there you go. We're on the page. All right. Well, I wanted to be on the group because, like I was telling Jessie before we started, I started that group page last night for American Horse Talk. And already today it's got over 500 people, or almost 500 people on it. And the page didn't. So anyway, here we are. We can always share it.
Hey, I'm sharing it right now.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll show y'all. There's Jessie Lynn. There's Becca Salamone. It's got all sorts of neat features to this Be Live app. I really love it. And then you can see our new logo right there, American Horse Talk. That's brand new. It hasn't even been put out yet. So you're the first to see it. And I'll give us an announcement of AmericanHorseTalk.com coming soon. It will be launching hopefully in the next week. So y'all stay tuned for that.
Yay.
Yay. All right. So what we want to do, we don't want to just talk about American Horse Talk. We want to talk about Jessie Lynn.
Yes, that's the first stuff.
Yeah. Now, Jessie's my friend from, what do you think, about 5 years, 6, 7 years back when we were riding horses and doing drill team?
It's been about 5 or 6 years ago, most definitely. I was 17, I think, when we met.
Yeah, and how old are you now?
22.
Wow. Time has flown.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what you've done, because we did a interview with you before, but then your career is kind of taken off and you're famous now. So tell us about yourself.
Yeah. So, we've grown immensely since I think the last time we chatted was about 3 years ago when we had actually first kind of kicked the music career off and really hit everything on the ground running. And it has, like you said, it's just absolutely exploded. We released my first single, Boots and Bling. It's a Cowgirl thing in 2016 in the month of February. And about 3 months later, we had a phone call asking if we would be interested in opening for the Oak Ridge Boys. And I told them, yeah, let me check my calendar real quick. Yes.
That's funny.
So it didn't take long for that. And so really talk about the first big career, out the door, just the first single we released to radio. And then here we are in that August opening for the Oaks and, wrapping up a radio tour with our newly released album. And I mean, it went from there. So we had the Oaks in August of 2016. Montgomery Gentry came into town in Montgomery in April of 17, opened for them, Jessica Muse, and then this year we've opened for Shane Owens, and I mean it's just taken flight. Just fabulously, and we are working on some new music. But right now, what's very interesting is the album that we released 2 years ago is kind of catching a second wind because we've had Boots and Bling come back on the air hot and heavy and people recruiting it and picking it up and I mean just running with it. And then our current single, Old Pair of Boots, it is just flying off the wall.
Wow.
Crazy busy. So I'm like, that's fine. I'll take a 2-year, album and single life. That's totally fine.
Now, when people ask you to open for them, are they finding you, or are you going and searching for them?
Actually, the Oak Ridge Boys was kind of they found me type deal through a very good friend of mine. He's in the radio business down in the Dothan area, and he was very good friends there with the show promoter, and he called and he said, "Hey, Jess, we've got the Oaks coming into town. Would you be interested in opening for them? If so, I'm going to call their manager and see if I can submit your stuff to them for consideration and kind of for that." And I said, absolutely. It never hurts to try. And most of the time they are coming to me. I think there's only been, well, we didn't even really seek out one. We tried to get in a couple of years with Geneva River Fest, but then this year they came to us. So I was very excited about that.
Yeah, that's great. When they start coming to you, that's awesome.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, now I bet you a lot of cowgirls and cowboys are loving all this music. What kind of, inspires you to write those type of songs?
Well, as you and I were talking about just a minute ago, I've been heavily involved in the equestrian jewel industry ever since I was 7, and have always had horses ever since I was born, and very major avid barrel racer, and I've shown all disciplines, Western pleasure, English, I've had reiners, cutters, timed event horses, you name it. And, what kind of inspired me to write songs to fit a softer side of country was I wanted people to know who I was as Alabama singing cowgirl, but then also I wanted the cowgirls to have an anthem. Garth and, George Strait, they have all the fun cowboy songs. Now, granted, George did write and produce the song out, How About Them Cowgirls, but I was kind of tired of all the guys having the fun with the rodeo songs. And I'm like, really? We don't get any credit? Come on. So that's what inspired me on the Boots and Bling. And then Dirt to Diva, which came a little long later with a co-writer friend of mine. And, that one was just fun because I was actually in the truck one day coming from a barrel race and changing into a formal gown to go walk a runway show when I was doing a lot of modeling and acting. And my mom said, you can just go from Dirt to Diva in 2.9. So there's Dirt to Diva in 2.9, which
there's a song.
Exactly. And it's so funny because Dirt to Diva is actually now the name of my productions company and my publishing. So it's kind of sprouted wings of its own and branded itself.
Well, it's a great name. I love it. Yeah, so give people that address so they can know that.
Yeah. So the Dirt to Diva, that's just a great, can find it on our website, jessielynn.net, can stream it straight from there. That's where we see a lot of the traffic come through because everybody wants to know about what's going on. Cool.
All right. So jessielynn.net, that's where they need to go to find everything about you.
That's where they need to go. Music, shows, bio, everything. Now, if you have a Spotify account, go find us on Spotify. We're on there, save, share, and follow all of our music. Create you a playlist. I've actually got one called the Cowgirls Traveling Tunes. So it's kind of a conglomerate mix of everything. And of course, all of our music is available. Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, anywhere you can find music, it's there.
Okay. Now, talk a little bit more about social media and how that has helped you and what you use to get your word out.
Yeah. So, obviously love Facebook. Facebook's a great tool to use. It's great because some of our fans are, of course, across the globe. And so I can't see them, some on a face-to-face or daily basis like I do some of our Facebook friends. And it's great because we can share different things, go back and forth on Messenger. Of course, we've got the music page, which is a great update for everybody. That's jessielynn.official page on Facebook, and you'll see our wonderful video for the month of July and everything that's going on. And just a great way to connect and tell the stories. And it's kind of it's among one of our biggest platforms, but our biggest platform is Twitter. Twitter is great for the business entity and the fact that having the productions company and having the publishing and then having the brand of Alabama Singing Cowgirl. It's a great branding tool. It's a great business connection. And of course, same thing as, you know, I've got a lot of the same followers on Twitter as I do on Facebook. So again, a great storytelling. We can, you know, get the word out quick about stuff and get them to a lot more followers more quickly. It's very quick, very succinct, and very easy. And then our most recent addition that I have put off forever and ever and ever was Instagram, because I was doing good to do the Facebook and Twitter. You know, that was a lot. And it's sad, I'm 22 and I'm saying that was a lot.
Look, we're all learning, okay?
Yeah.
It's okay.
But, so I bit the bullet and got in on the Instagram world, and actually have had a lot of fun with that. It's actually been a good way for me to connect with all of our fan base, because what's great about Instagram is you can share it to Facebook and Twitter. So you've got kind of a built-in all-in-one update to your fans. So you don't have to go to 4 different platforms to try to type a message and take photos and
well,
that's done.
That's one thing I was about to say is that, you know, people that don't post on Instagram a lot, and I'm one of them actually, but if you go on there, you can choose to go on Facebook and Twitter at the same time. So same post, boom, you're done.
Love it. It's great. And, you know, we were talking a little bit off the air. I just joined Tumblr today. I did a little bit of research on it, and I was like, okay, is this like a second Instagram idea or what? And it's a blog, so which is great, because I've been wanting to start a blog, and I'm like, well, here's a built-in one that's imaging plus message at the same time, but I can share it directly from one platform. So it's fabulous. It's social media is great when it's used for what it's supposed to be used for.
Yes, definitely. I'll agree with you there. Now, are you the only one sharing your stuff out? I mean, I know your mom does a lot as well, but do you have a team that works with that?
Actually, it is just me and her that manages this solely. Her and I swap off between the Twitter. If she catches a message before I do, she'll text me and say, hey, you need to check this out. If I get one, and, you know, I'll answer as much as I can, and there's sometimes I'm at work and she might get a notification. So we're usually logged in on 2 different devices. If that tells you anything, that's what we have to keep up with.
That's awesome that you have her to help you like that.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's great. But it can be a little time consuming, because with Facebook, I've got about 4 different accounts that I manage with Facebook. Between the productions company plus me plus, you know, different things. And then it can get hectic, especially if it has an explosive day like it did last Friday. Last Friday, I don't think I got off my phone at all.
all day long.
Yeah.
So what happened last Friday?
It was just, it's amazing. There's a lot of great people that I've never gotten to meet on Twitter. And they will just throw out, you know, hashtag follow Friday, or since actually we had just launched out our email saying, you know, talking about our new social media tag, you know, hashtag Jessie in July. So that's a new hashtag that we're doing for the month of July at all of our shows. And if you check in with us, it's great. And it's great. I mean, all it takes is one post, and then our label was starting to share stuff, sharing our videos on multiple platforms all across Nashville and in the music scene. And I mean, it's like it exploded. My phone was in overload. Yeah.
Well, you know, as you're talking, I'm looking over here on the other computer, and I see some people saying hello. So I told them, thanks for joining.
Everybody.
Yeah. So, you know, I want to let everybody know that if you know, this is our first American Horse Talk Live show, but it's going to be ongoing. And if you want to join in and talk to some of the guests, you can do that through the BeLive.tv app. All you have to do is download on your phone. And if you want to do that, you can type guest in the comments, and then I'll send you the link. It's kind of a bit of a process. I'll send you the link to join the show. So if anybody wants to try to do that now, they can. And we'll see if we can handle it on this end.
Absolutely.
Now, also, I was going to ask you about your patriotic music, because that seems like that's a big deal for you, and it's kind of taken off.
Yes, it is definitely very important. You know, we released our we call it an EP track. It's what we call an extended play. So it's not a full album, but it's also not just a single. This particular EP has 4 songs on it. It's called In the Line of Duty. And we released it in November of 2016. So not too long after our album had released and hit the wonderful airwaves. And we wanted to release a project like In the Line of Duty because at that particular time we were seeing a lot of things in the news with everything that was going on with the cop shootings and having targeted attacks and just a very sad situation in our country. And
yes,
with my dad being a retired military, I wanted to let our first responders and our veterans and our current troops and men and women here and overseas that we support them 100%. And any way that we can help, whether it's, partnering up with an organization that's, doing a fundraiser for the Wounded Warriors Project or anything like that, we are in 100% of that and want to make sure that they know they have somebody standing with them and that will stand and fight for them. And awesome. It's honestly a release that I had to stop recording a couple of times because it was just so it just pulled on the heartstrings and reminded me a good bit of when my dad was deployed. And so had to gain some composure, but then got it together. So we were good.
Now, is there a favorite song that you have that's a patriotic song?
As far as one of mine, I must say, oh gosh, Yesterday's Heroes is probably my favorite off that EP. But then as far as patriotic songs and all, it's got to be Lee Greenwood, God Bless the USA.
Yeah, definitely. That's mine.
That one will get you. And of course, you got to love some Toby Keith if you're kind of in that country rock mode. Got to love some Toby Keith. So,
yeah, I'm not sure about playing music on the show. I don't think you can do that. You might get yourself pulled if you do that. But I would love to play those songs, for American Horse Talk. Or some of your songs. How about some of your songs?
You can do that. I'll give you permission. By all means, you have permission. And, okay. I'll make sure nobody gets you for it.
Yeah, but how is Facebook going to know I've got permission?
If they flag it, they should let me know.
Okay. All right, we might try that.
Tag me with permission from the artist and that. You can tag me in it, and then there we go.
Okay, we might do that. All right, now talk about how many albums you have altogether so far.
Oh, mercy. Well, we've got the one major album, A Softer Side of Country. That's the full-length album. We then have In the Line of Duty, which is the EP. Then we've got Snow a Little, which was our Christmas release this past year. And it's got some good old classic, what I'd call Christmas tunes, but then it's got one original on it that's a good friend of mine, Marty Morgan, which happens to be Lori Morgan's brother. Many of y'all might remember her from back in the day.
Yeah.
He and another co-writer wrote this song, Snow a Little, hence the title track, and asked me if I wanted to cut it. And I heard it, fell in love with it, said, absolutely, I want it. And so it's got 5 songs on it. And then we've got 2 other singles, Home and a Holler, which is a bluegrass tune that my good friend Steve Owen and Dee wrote together. And we had a blast shooting that video. That was so much fun. And first time dabbling a little bit in the bluegrass, so I was really excited, and it actually brought home Bluegrass Video of the Year at the North American Country Music Awards show this past March. So I was pretty excited.
That's awesome.
Oh, it was exciting. And then another single we have is called Ain't No Feeling. I actually was approached by a writer that had written this song back in '95, the year I was born. and talk about, going back a little bit. And so definitely during the Garth Brooks era, because I got the demo track and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a major Garth hit, just screaming. But he wanted me to kind of help him rewrite the song, and put me in on the co-write and the publishing, and kind of make it a little bit more modern. So I redid a couple things and really modernized the song to fit the rodeo realm, and it's called Ain't No Feeling. So it's kind of a tribute to the bull riders out in the pen. So we've got a good mix of stuff.
That's great. Hey, yeah, I know somebody that wants you to rewrite a song. Do you know who it is? Me.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
I do. Oh my gosh. I gotta find that message. Now you're gonna guilt trip me. Oh my gosh.
Hey, I know you've been busy.
But hey, know what we just need to do? We need to go to lunch one day and we'll just sit down. That's usually the best way to do that. It's because I will get so much going. If I'm left alone very long, it can be dangerous.
Well, it might not be that good of a song, but yeah, we can look at it.
I do remember looking at it, and I remember it was very good. So
thank you. All right, so tell me a little bit about this CMA membership. You've gotten that, and also I wanted to know, have you ever sung on the Opry?
Well, okay, so we'll start with CMA.
Okay.
So December of 2017, and y'all have to excuse me, I'm going through and liking everybody's stuff on the feed. So y'all come in and join us.
Thanks for helping, because I haven't done that.
We're having fun. We're having fun. I'm trying to comment and catch it. My feed just lit up. So I was like, whoa.
It's hard to do it all at the same time, isn't it? We need some help.
Oh, God. This is when I need Mom, this is when I need you if you're listening.
Yeah. Come on, Mom. Help us out here.
But yeah, so the CMA membership, that is one of the best and most, prestigious honors that you can have, is becoming a CMA member as an artist. And December of this past year, we had applied and were notified that we were accepted as a CMA member. And I about flipped. I got this awesome welcoming package, and I'm a member with Carrie Underwood, Garth, Trisha, Miranda Lambert. I'm just like, oh my goodness, I'm part of the family. It's so exciting. And so it's really neat because I now have a voting spot on the CMA Music Awards, and can of course pre-order tickets to all the shows. So I'm like, oh my God, exciting. And get to you're in kind of the inner circle of all the fun and excitement that takes place in country music, because CMA is one of the largest organizations, along with ACM's Academy of Country Music. And it's just a great honor, and as an artist who really, as an independent artist especially, it's a great honor to say that I've been able to build us up to this point of where we're being recognized by the Country Music Association, and have the status and the qualifications to become a member. So I'm just like, oh my goodness, somebody pinched me. I'm dreaming.
Wow, that's so great.
Oh,
congratulations on that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you. It's like, I'm still excited if you can't tell. Now,
okay, so
question.
Yeah, no, I went by the other day. To believe it or not, I went by in Nashville to eat at the Aquarium Restaurant and the Rainforest Cafe with my kids. And I went by the Opry, and I thought about you. I was thinking, well, has she sung on the Opry yet?
Gotcha. Yes and no. I have actually sang on the stage after the show during the tour groups. We had several groups there, and of course you could get in the center and take your picture on the circle. And this was the first ever trip I had taken to the Grand Ole Opry. And we had been talking to our tour guides backstage, and they're like, well, when you get up there, just start singing something. They'll turn on the house lights and all this stuff.
Really?
Like, okay. And of course our groups, there's several groups backstage, and, they're all kind of talking and all this. So I acapella, there's no microphone or anything. I just started singing Wynonna Judd's Rock Bottom. And all the groups just dead silence, and they just started listening and going along with it, and it was just like, oh my goodness. And I got chill bumps, I kid you not. I was like, oh dang, everybody's watching. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop after this chorus. Well, when I did, they just erupted in applause, and
really,
they were like, oh my gosh. And
wow.
my tour guide's like, yeah, she sings. She'll be here in this next room within a couple of years, which is the first ever first ever performance on the Opry. They have a special dressing room for an artist's first appearance on the Opry. And I'm dreaming of that day I can load my stuff into that room and just be like, oh my goodness, this is it.
That's awesome.
It's so funny though, because now every time I go back, I've befriended a lot of the security guards and a lot of the folks that are backstage. So anytime I'm in town, I'll holler at them and say, hey guys, we're going to be in town. And they're like, well, make sure you come back and see us. So I'll go backstage during the show and, sit on the back, sit on the actual Opry floor while it's going on. And now the tour guides, if I'm in town and they've got a group, they'll be like, y'all, this is Jessie Lynn. She came here, we see her a good bit. She's going to be the next one on the Opry. And it's so funny because all the tour groups just start talking to you and you're just like, okay, cool. And you have fun with it. And that's all you can do. It's such a cool place to be. And when you enter the Opry House, even though it's not the Ryman, which is where the original Opry was held,
right?
It still has that just
reverence.
It's that feeling of when you walk in, you just feel like you're at home. And I'm like, I know I haven't performed on that stage live yet, but I know in my heart that it's coming. And I feel like I'm at home when I go there. Just everybody, knows you, and it's so nice. You can just go and have fun.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like your mom says she's listening.
Oh, hi, Mom.
So going back to the Opry for just a minute, how do you get qualified to be on there? They recognize you?
I really don't. I'm not sure about that process. I think a good bit of it has to do with radio airplay. Has to be like with CMA, it has to be a certain level of kind of identification. Have we hit the charts on Music Row? Have we hit the charts on Billboard? It's just kind of that certain level of recognition when you have a little bit of quote unquote clout in the industry, and a lot of it can be political. So you kind of have to play your cards right and deal your hand out pretty well in the industry. A lot of music is not what it used to be. It is a lot of business. It's especially for the artist. Getting on stage is my break. It's the stuff off the stage that will wear you out. So. Yeah.
I can imagine you're pretty tired.
Oh, it can be busy. I'm telling you. Yeah. I am telling you.
Now, this big long list, I don't know if I should show it or not. Can anybody see that? It's a huge list of your accomplishments. Those are also my notes. Yes. So tell us your biggest accomplishments that you feel like you've made so far.
Well, definitely the openers, the big openers like the Oak Ridge Boys, Shane Owens, Jess Muse. That's always a great feather in the cap. But for the past 2 years now with the Alabama Music Association, we've been named Female Vocalist and Entertainer of the Year in traditional country, modern country, and then just added this year bluegrass. So
awesome.
That was pretty amazing. And then when our submissions went up to the North American Country Music Association, we came in with 5 nominations, came home with 5 crystal trophies. So I was extremely excited.
Have you ever been to the Tannehill Opry here in this area?
I have not. I've heard a good bit about it, though.
Yeah. Well, and not that it's huge or anything, but it's a nice place to go and play. You might want to think about that.
I'm going to have to take a look at that. Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah. All right. Now, speaking of things like that, tell us about your upcoming events and shows. And do you have a tour going on? What's going on with that?
We kind of, I've had enough dates to make a tour, and I guess I should have named it. But, it's not necessarily a quote unquote tour per se, but we're just kind of, it's us. It's Jessie's tour. We've got some upcoming events, some definite political events that are coming up that we've been asked to perform at. So that's always exciting. Great when you're asked by a private entity to come join them in celebrating, getting ready for the elections on the runoff and all of that. So that's good. Then, of course, some local hometown gigs, The Exchange and Adrian's Downtown Bar. We just kind of play those on occasion to give the local folks and give us a break from some of the bigger shows. But then July 22nd and July 28th are definitely some dates of interest for this month. July 22nd, I've partnered with the Family Sunshine Center for their Summer of Sunshine concert series event, which their first concert will be held in Prattville on the July 22nd date, featuring me as an artist. And there's a great YouTube video out. If you go to our channel, you'll see it out there, called Family Sunshine Center, Summer Sunshine Concert Series. And we kind of broke it down for you as to what the concert series is about, why the Family Sunshine Center chose to mix in music and get everybody in, but then also, more importantly, why I chose to partner with the organization. It's a great organization. It's a great awareness event campaign that they're putting together to ultimately end family violence and sexual assault. And it's very interesting. I was shocked at the numbers when the director told me and sent me some very interesting information about 1 in 3 women and 1 in 7 men will suffer from domestic violence at some point in their life. So wow. I was like, oh my goodness. And I just actually had a very dear friend of mine that I met at the North American Country Music Association award show that actually just went through, unfortunately, a very nasty spell with her husband. And so it was just kind of one of those things. It was weighing very heavy on my heart, and I just couldn't think of a better way than to jump on board and provide a great concert event that everybody can come to. It's free. Your coolers, your chairs, everything. It's going to be in downtown Prattville on the Cotton Gin lawn where the Cotton Gin used to be. And then July 28th is we're doing the Roundup at the Gardens of Clanton, which is an assisted living facility. They might be living some days, depending on the mood. But living facilities, if I can talk. And this actually came about from a friend of mine and a fan of mine sending my information to the director of the Gardens of Clanton, which they are within the top 5 of the state of Alabama assisted living facilities. And Governor Ivey came to visit them and all of that. So it's great. We're so excited because we're bringing the horse out. We're going to do some surprise stuff there. Got about an hour-and-a-half show. Just a great little special concert planned for the whole community. It's not just for the residents there, but she has sent out everything to the county. We'll be talking on the air. I mean, it's just going to be great. So again, one of those great events that it reminds me of I do what I do because I love it and because of events like this. This is why it's all worth it.
Awesome. So I saw somebody was asking on here about songs. Are you going to be singing, or are you going to come back later and sing?
Well, I'll tell you, they can come to the show, and we might have to throw something together one day. I might have to see when I figure out how to play guitar well enough to accompany myself.
That's always key. Guitar. I keep telling my daughter, she's a really good singer. I keep telling her, you got to learn how to play guitar so you can accompany yourself and make money on the weekends.
Yeah. It's so funny. I have people ask me, well, you can just, bring your guitar and play. I was like, no.
Still working on that.
And, my thing is, my statement is I'm an entertainer, and I really am. I can play some piano, but for writing purposes, same thing with guitar. I just don't like having a barrier between me and the audience. I've always been that way, probably always will be.
Yeah. Well, and I've seen you perform. You like to walk around on the stage and interact with the audience. And so I guess that would get in the way to do that.
It does. It really, it's a hindrance.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be a little bit of a protector barrier, which I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's like when you're public speaking and you have that podium to stand behind.
Yeah. It's like your safety thing. I'm like, I can clench to this forever, and then there's nail marks about 2 inches deep by the time you're done.
Yeah. I never really like to use the podium because I like to interact with the audience, and I'm actually a very shy person, and I can't believe I'm doing this live right now, but I always thought that you need to do the best job for your audience so that understand what you're saying and they get something out of it, et cetera, et cetera. And so you just throw yourself out there and do it. Doesn't matter how you feel.
You know, as long as you're doing something that you love, the rest is going to come naturally. And I can honestly say I love being an entertainer. I don't wish to be a great musician that can play all the cool licks, and you know, I wish to be that entertainer that the audience feels like after they've left my show, I have sang that show to them directly, not to, you know, 40,000 people in an area.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I guess we've kind of used up our time at 7:33 now. So is there anything that you want to share last minute here before we close out?
You know, guys, it's been great chatting with you. Thank you all so much for joining in. I'm seeing all the awesome comments, and I see some folks using our hashtag Jessie in July. Remember, we've got our frames for that on Facebook. You can change your profile picture to have the hashtag Jessie in July, and it enters you for a chance to win one of our fan packages, in which you get an awesome t-shirt, a couple of our CDs, a couple of our autographed tear sheets, and more. So definitely be using that hashtag. Share everything with us on social media, tag us. Definitely go check out our website and join our emailing list if you haven't. They are the ones who get the fun stuff first, as I like to say. Nothing goes out. And, you know, the first folks to hear about is our email list subscribers. So definitely go subscribe to our email list. We do a monthly update to everybody and kind of keep you posted on what all's going on. And, you know, if you guys have any questions or anything, forward them on over. And it's been a blast. It's been so great.
Yeah, it's been fun. Yeah, and definitely ditto. Same thing for American Horse Talk that she just said. Ditto. Yay! All that. Now, we're still getting some of our stuff set up, but make sure you go over there and join the group so you can keep, you know, updated and join us in these conversations that we have online. And of course, we just put our page out today, so go like the page and sign up for the email so you can get the email updates that way. And basically, just thanks for watching. I hope y'all come, you know, tune in next time and actually join the conversation. I've got room on these live broadcasts for 4 people. So, for example, when I bring that in, hopefully people can see that. They may not be able to online, but I've put the graphic of AmericanHorseTalk.com launching soon up there. So that could be your face. That could be you talking to Jessie Lynn.
That's pretty awesome.
There you go. It showed up on Facebook. There was a delay.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah.
There's a delay.
Yeah, that can be you next time talking to some of these fabulous guests that we're going to have. So anyway, thank you so much for joining. And I guess just get on the group whenever you can and help us share love of country and love of horse. And we'll talk to y'all next time. Thanks, Jessie Lynn.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.